Hey there, David Gordon from TheaterMania here with the incredible Heidi Schreck, creator and star of What the Constitution Means to Me, now on Amazon Prime. It is literally the most essential viewing pre-election that I can think of, and I urge everybody to watch it.
Thanks, David. Thank you for having me on.
I'm so excited to talk to you about it. And I'm sure you've been asked this question a lot the past couple of weeks, but when you first started doing this show, or what would become this show, did you ever think that we'd be here now talking about like a video release on Amazon?
No, I did not think that. I really thought it would be a downtown show, which I was very excited by. I thought it would have its life at a small theater and then it would be over. And not only that, I really did not think that that this film would be coming out that the world would look like this when this film came out.
It's fascinating to look at this piece through the lens of Supreme Court confirmation hearings. Just knowing that you guys started downtown at New York Theater Workshop when the Kavanaugh hearings were taking place.
Yes.
And I think it literally premiered on Amazon like the day after the Amy Coney Barrett hearings ended.
Yeah.
Or a couple days after. What is that like for you?
I mean, honestly, it's horrifying. Like, I wish I have to say that was the most shocking event. I mean, I think for all of us in this country, of course, we knew it was a possibility. Justice Ginsburg would have to pass one day, unfortunately. But just that it would happen at this juncture is really, it's just really terrifying and painful. And I really did not expect that this would be debuting on the while another Supreme Court hearing was going on. And one that feels so scary, I guess. It truly threatens to change the course of this country and how the laws in this country work for the next 30 years for what is to be my new baby's whole adult life. And so many really hard-won rights are in danger of being rolled back. I really wish the show were not. I wish this weren't happening.
Yeah. When did filming it become part of the equation?
I mean, I knew I wanted to film it. Actually, while we were still at New York Theater Workshop, a couple of friends had talked to me about it. And I thought even then, like, I love the workshop, but theater in general is so expensive, and I would like more people to see this. I also, as you know from the show, grew up in a tiny town and didn't have access to New York City, and lived 3 hours from Seattle, which had a major theater. So I didn't get to go to theater a lot as a kid, and really got my theater fix by watching Sweeney Todd on an old VHS. And so I knew I wanted to make it available to more people, especially to younger people. So I had the idea then and ended up, I approached Mari Heller because she's an old friend of mine and I knew her from my downtown theater days.
I didn't know that you two knew each other.
Yeah. Beforehand. Yeah. When I first moved to New York, Mari was working as a playwright and actor downtown, and her film Diary of a Teenage Girl started out as a play at 3LD.
Oh, no kidding.
That she acted in. So I knew her, really respected her, knew she understood theater. And then, of course, in the meantime, had become this brilliant filmmaker. So I approached her right about the time we were moving to Broadway to see if she would consider filming it.
Did the success of, I hate to say that did the success surprise you, but it just feels like the trajectory of this show, considering it was a downtown piece, you could call it experimental, maybe, if you think in those terms. Did the fact that it became like the big Broadway hit, the Tony-nominated play, like as Heidi the human and the artist, is this like, did it surprise you? Is this everything you wanted?
Yeah. No, it totally surprised me. I'm sorry. I feel like it had. This is how This is how I felt when they told me I was having twins, actually. I remember going to the doctor and she was like, did you put in 2 embryos? And I was like, no, we put in 1. And she said, you're having twins. And I just burst into hysterical laughter. And I feel a little bit like that about the play. Like, I never remotely imagined that would be its trajectory. I really did think of it. I was working in TV at the time. I had been working in TV for almost 4 years and hadn't been on stage for 4 years, and thought Maria Stryer from Club Thumb asked me to do it as part of Summerworks because I had brought pieces of it into our writing group with Club Thumb. And I thought, this is perfect. This is the thing I'll do on my hiatus from television. It's too weird of a play. I thought it was too weird of a play to even have like a larger off-Broadway house pick it up. I was like, this is too specific and weird and personal, and I don't understand the form. It's not going to go to Playwrights Horizons or anywhere like that, but I can have an amazing run of it at this theater company that I think does the most exciting plays in town, and it'll be a 10-day run, and then I'll go back to TV. So no, I'm not, this is not some false, modesty. I really thought that was the play's life, because like, who wants to see a play about the Constitution? And then what is it? Like, it's not really a one-person show because there's other people in it, but it kind of is. And then there's this debate, and it. I will say also, knowing that it was going up at Club Thumb, I did feel a lot of freedom not to try to make it more normal, I guess. I feel like if it had gotten, not to say to get stuck in the development pipeline, but if you hadn't done it downtown and it had gotten workshopped the way stuff tends to be, it wouldn't have been as special as it really is. I think that's true. I think there was something about getting to do it with Club Thumb and Maria, who's like an amazing dramaturg who doesn't try to make things more normal or more mainstream, and I also, because I was doing it there, I sort of allowed myself to leave in parts of the show that maybe are like a little clumsy or don't totally add up, or that result in it feeling, I think, different and special. And it was so nice to see that on Broadway too, which is a place where everything is so unlike this. Right. Right. When did you realize that it was becoming a thing? Like, was there a point during the New York Theater Workshop run where you realized, like, oh, this isn't going to end in 10 days the way I thought it was going to when I first started putting it together? There was definitely that point in New York Theater Workshop, but I actually will say there was that point even at Club Thumb. Like, even after the first performance, the way people responded to it was unlike. I mean, I've had a number of plays produced in New York, and some of them have been successful, and people have really loved them. But I never had I never had people respond the way they responded after that first performance. And I was like, oh, that's okay. That's interesting. And then that run just sort of immediately sold out, and people were clearly talking about it and telling their, suddenly all these people were showing up. And I was like, okay, that's when I sort of knew that there was something unusual about the play, maybe. And that it definitely spoke to more people than I thought it was going to. What was it like to watch? Was this your first time watching yourself in a theater piece? Like, was the film? It's so horrible. It's terrible. I saw you either tweeted it or on something on social media. You socialed the other day, like, yes, I have nodes. Yes, they went away, or something. Yes. Watching you, like, why is your voice janky or something? Yeah, I mean, people were expressing concern. I mean, the truth is, I did. I basically, well, I lost my voice while doing it. I'm, first of all, like, performing 8 times a week for that long. I wasn't used to that. I'm not a singer and not particularly like vocally trained as an actor. I worked in small spaces almost my whole career.
Yeah.
Not that the Haze is that large, but it was large for me, especially to be talking nonstop for an hour and a half.
You're saying you're doing it in the balcony.
Yeah. And I will say that, I mean, the reason I could talk at all is because we have this amazing vocal coach, Don Elin Frazier, who sort of helped me with my untrained voice. I mean, I really don't think I would have been able to continue talking if not for her. Yeah. But it is hard for me when I listen to the film because I can hear the rasp that I don't normally have. And also like I can see, especially in the first half of the film, that I'm pushing and sort of shouting. And that was hard for me to watch. But, you know, I'm imperfect and the film is beautiful but imperfect.
It's such a beautiful, I mean, it's such a beautiful capture. The way you say that, it's beautiful and imperfect. Like, it just sounds like the Constitution, too, to me. And the way you talk about the Constitution in the play. What is it like for you to watch Thursday in Rosedale?
Oh, my God. That is very pleasurable. It was really fun. The debate is, I enjoy watching the debate more than any other part of the film because it's just, it feels so alive, you know, and it's so fun to see them kind of in action, you know. I didn't get to watch them properly. They're just so brilliant. And I like that you can tell in the film like just how much fun we had.
You really
can feel it. Yeah.
You really can. And there are so many subtle things in the film. And I saw the play a couple of times because I would just take more people to see it. Like I took my wife and my fiance to see it. I took my mom to see it when it was on Broadway. I took other people. Like, I would just take people to see it because it was the sort of thing where I felt the need to bring people. And I'd seen it enough that I like remembered the trajectory of the play. I remembered the order of things. But so many of the subtleties I realized I hadn't actually experienced until I watched it on screen. Just like the glances between you and Mike and stuff, like the really small things that you would have to like really notice to pay attention to. And I'm glad that exists on screen.
I'm glad. That's one of my favorite things about the film, actually, is that you can see Mike and I had a very specific relationship and a really deep one. You know, I mean, we performed together so much. And so that relationship kept evolving and changing. And I think it's a really important storyline, actually. And it was exciting to get to go into the editing room and really make that apparent, like make it seen. Because I do think you're right. You wouldn't necessarily, there's a lot to process if you're sitting in the theater and you're not close. So you wouldn't necessarily see all that happening. Yeah.
What have you heard from the general public? Because the Amazon platform is so much wider than a Broadway and off-Broadway audience.
And so I've gotten amazing, like people are filling my Instagram message box every day. People from all over the world, actually. I've gotten like messages from Belgium and Spain and South America, like really nice messages from people and on Twitter. So it's been exciting because I wasn't sure also how the play would translate, you know, but it seems like people who've never seen it and apparently who live around the world are responding to it. So that's been great. And then there's this sort of other side of it, which is I've also attracted for the first time a kind of army of right-wing men. They just are mostly men. Just telling me really angry. Actually, the trailer, I used the phrase living constitution, and it's just a lot of men angry that I'm calling it a living constitution. I guess they consider themselves originalists. Yeah. And so they're calling me like stupid and a moron and a communist and various things. So that part has been strange.
Originalist, as I've learned, is not the term that people think it is.
No, yes. But it's also strange because a lot of the sort of hateful messages I've gotten are based on the trailer, which is really makes the show seem a lot sweeter than the show actually is. And so
Well,
I'm assuming they're not going to watch the whole thing, but if they do, I can't imagine what's going to be coming at me.
And the negativity is always from the people that don't actually watch it. They just
Yes.
it's like that's what internet trolldom is.
Right.
I guess.
Yeah.
What does it mean for you knowing that you have two little babies probably sleeping off to the side someplace, that when they're old enough to watch this now, they'll be able, like, what does that mean to you as a person, as a mom?
I mean, I have, it's funny. I really was thinking about this the other night because I was looking at them thinking like, oh my God, they're going to be able to watch this one day. And honestly, the first thought I had was they're going to be so much more advanced than I am and like cooler and smarter that I feel like they're going to be like, ugh, our mom's politics is so old school. Our mom didn't understand anything about the world. Our mom is, I feel like they're going to totally take me on.
Yeah.
I had this feeling of like, oh my God, I hope. Yeah, I'm both excited for them to watch it one day and then a little scared.
Heidi, thank you for your time.
Thank you. Great to talk to you.
You too. I'm so happy that this exists. And
Thank you.
Be well.
Thank you. You too, David.
Thanks everybody for watching.
Bye.